All right, well, let's get into this week's top fives. So every week, like we always do, you guys voted on our Twitter and Instagram on what you wanted to hear us speak about this week. And this week, sports traditions took the sports category. The moving endings took the pop culture category. So we're going to get started here with our top 5 favorite sports traditions. And I will start with my number 5, and that is the Lambeau Leap. So I always thought it was pretty cool. Never was a big Packers guy, but like I always thought it was pretty cool. Like when you score and like that, a certain mistake, you up into the fans. Like that's always so hyped to watch. I like watching them. And that's something. If I was a opposing player, like say as like a Bears player, like some like a rival, I'd always do it. I'd probably get like that. I'd be pushed right back down, but I would troll so hard by trying to do it if I was on the other team. Like I would always try.
And the other thing is like. How much do you think like ticket sales increased once the Lambeau Leap became a thing, like for those seats?
Well, the price probably went up, definitely.
Like so much, like probably a ridiculous amount compared to other front seats. Right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But
I like watching after the one time do it and he barely got up there. You ever see that?
Yeah,
I did the one time he barely got up there. No, Lambeau Leap, that's just something sweet, and it rolls off the tongue. The name rolls off the tongue.
Mm-hmm. Alliterations, man.
Yeah, definitely.
My number 5, Thanksgiving Day football. Nothing's better on Thanksgiving than, your mom, your grandma, all them. They're in the kitchen. They're making all your Thanksgiving dinner. You, your dad, the rest of the men of the family are usually just sitting in front of the couch watching TV, watching the Lions lose, and they do like the turkey legs come out the cobbler and all that shit. Like
that's the best part about the Thanksgiving football is the post-game interviews with like them eating the turkey legs.
Yeah, and like there's always like these great moments in Thanksgiving Day football too. They usually have sweet matchups. I love Thanksgiving Day football, man. It makes the Thanksgiving holiday so much better for me.
I agree, and I forgot to point this out too. I was going to point this out. I feel like my list and like I'm sure your list too. It definitely jumps around. The top 5 sports traditions is kind of a broad category. I was thinking about, like some things I have on here are specific to a certain team, and other things are more like a Thanksgiving Day football. So
yeah,
definitely a good topic. But yeah, Thanksgiving football, I love it. Steelers this year, we got one against the Ravens.
Yeah, it's gonna be a big game.
Very cool. So it's always the Cowboys and it's always the Lions, and then the third game is just a dope matchup, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, usually like a sweet divisional. I feel.
Yeah. I mean, the one year we played against the Colts and just wrecked them. But all right, my number 4, since we're talking about Indiana, and it's kind of close to there.
Segues.
Indianapolis area. The Notre Dame football slapping the play like a champion today sign whenever they leave the locker room and go out to the field. I think that's a great – I mean, Notre Dame's just like a dope football school to like always like to watch and stuff like that. But playing a champion today – is such like very iconic, I feel like everyone knows that saying. That saying's all over the place. And I actually read too, when I was like thinking about, I thought this immediately off the top of my head, but I went and looked through it. And apparently back in the day, that was a thing. Like they had it going out of the tunnel into the stadium, and then they took it away. And then the coach at the time said, like, "Dude, that sucks. That's like one of the coolest things we had." So then he's bought another sign that said the exact same thing and put it in the locker room, and they slapped it on the way out of the locker room. So that's always pretty dope.
No, I feel that. Personally, I hate Notre Dame, so I'm not for that one. But hey, it is like cool tradition. Anytime they have like something like that in college football, I just wish Notre Dame would just pick a conference. Why are you independent? Like,
yeah. Did you Irish at all?
Huh?
Are you Irish?
A little bit.
I feel like
or something like what's the point in saying you're Irish? I'm like a mutt.
Yeah, I know. I feel like I asked because I feel like a bunch of Irish Yinzers, the Irish Yinzer thing, like an Irish Pittsburgh thing to do is just like Notre Dame randomly.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like there's no rhyme or reason to it, but I feel like Irish Yinzers is love Notre Dame, like as a second team.
Moving on to my number 4, baseball's opening pitch. So this is like whenever they get a celebrity to come out and toss the first pitch, and then it's just all stakes are on this celebrity. Whether if they do great, then it's just fantastic. If they do poorly, they are roasted by the internet for at least like 3 weeks until we forget about it, or there's a worse throw.
I love 50 Cent's throw.
50 Cent's throw where it just goes clear to the left. I think it was like to the wide left. Like it was like, what are you doing?
Wide left.
It was so bad.
Wasn't
Obama had a good one. I remember he had a good one.
Who did? Obama?
Obama did, yeah.
I think, dude, going whenever George W. threw out the Yankee Stadium after 9/11.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was huge. That was a big moment. Yeah.
Yeah, 50 Cent. Did he blame jerking off or something?
I can't remember.
I think that's what he said.
That'd be such a weird thing to blame it on.
Well, I think he did.
Not like Brucey in The Longest Yard. It's like, oh, it's popcorn. Like, no, it's like, nah, I jerked off earlier, so sorry. Whoops. Like,
that's fine.
And besides, what 50 Cent? I feel like he can just like get whatever girl he needs for the moment. You know, like why is he jerking off? He's 50 Cent. You know what I mean? Just like, be like, yeah, you can be a rap video next week.
He's gonna come over and
come over, suck my dick.
Like, it's getting raunchy tangent. Let's move on. Number 3 for me is playoff beard. So every sport kind of has a playoff beard, but I feel like the only sport that really like hardcore sticks with it is the NHL, like hockey. Like everyone has a playoff beard, even if you can't grow it, you're not shaving for a whole month because it's a very, very popular superstition in sports. I personally do it with the NHL playoffs too. Whenever the Penguins are doing it, I'm totally growing my beard out. That's the only professional sport I'll do it with, like simultaneously. I always do it with the Penguins. I think playoff beards are like low key, like really cool. I don't know why. I did it for rugby a little bit too, but there's only like 3 weeks for our playoffs, so it's kind of pointless.
I love that one too because it like really gets the fans involved.
Oh yeah, everyone grows them out. Everyone grows them out for hockey. It's great.
But personally, I try to do it, but like my beard gets real poofy, and like I kind of look like a terrorist a little bit with my beard. So I'm like, all right, I gotta shave. Like this is bad.
Yeah, I usually go. I mean, I've a little patch here, a little patch there. Not crazy. My beard's pretty good other than that. So I usually try to grow it out for the entire like month, basically.
But moving on, my number 3, booing at Roger Goodell during the NFL draft. This is just a fantastic pastime for me. Great tradition that really picked up steam in recent years. Just God, you gotta like this guy comes out on stage and a whole stadium of people just boo him. Like, and he's the commissioner of the NFL, and it's just like, no, screw you.
I love even this year they had like the boo Goodell.
Yeah, they still had stuff like even though we don't have a live draft, like, hey, you can still boo Goodell this way. Like,
yeah, I love. I mean, most sports. I feel like besides the NBA, every commissioner sucks. So everyone boos the commissioner whenever it's like the giving out the trophy or at the draft, like you're saying. But I feel like no commissioner gets booed quite like Roger Goodell.
Well, he's the worst one.
Oh yeah, Gary Bettman gets the earful during the Stanley Cup Finals, but like not really, not as bad as Goodell.
Nah, Bettman's our boy.
Bettman. No, he's kind of dumb, but Bettman. My number 2. Give me a
Are you looking for your number 2 pick?
Yeah.
All right, go find your number 2 pick. We'll keep everybody entertained though. You know, there's some crazy things going. Oh, there it is. There it is.
Ow.
Your number 2 pick.
My number 2.
I love it.
Is the terrible towel. The
Nice.
terrible towel. Pittsburgh Steelers. Here we go. Pittsburgh's going to the Super Bowl. But no, terrible towel. I feel like, I don't know if it's the official first rally towel ever, but it's pretty much, it's the most iconic. I think it might be one of the first ones too. Like, so that's a sports tradition that goes through every sport. Like every team has a rally towel during the playoffs. But the Pittsburgh Steelers terrible towel is not my number 2 spot. It's great.
Yeah, man. I mean that really set the principle for all the other rally towels. Like anytime I see a rally towel for another team, I'm like, get out of here. Like you don't even know rally towels.
Dude, no, the rally towel is a curse that goes with it. Like the curse that,
dude. Oh, I love the curse that goes with it. Like, oh man, who is the one on the Titans that like stepped on it on the sidelines?
I forget the name right now.
Yeah, exactly.
I always have to look it up. Because I always forget the name.
Exactly though, you forget the name.
Yeah.
You remember some idiot did it, and you're like, "Yep." And now we don't know even his name. So, you got it?
Yeah. Lendale White and Keith Bullock.
Yeah, like who the hell are you, dude? Come on.
Yeah. They did that They ended up losing their next 2 games, including the playoffs, and carried into the next season where they went 0-6 to start the season after doing that.
Yeah, wasn't that CJ2K's year? I think it was, but I agree.
Yeah, and then I think TJ Hushmanzada did it too, and he had some the next
and
game.
And Hushmanzada, yeah.
Who's your mama? But yeah, no, number 2.
My number 2 is throwing hats on the ice during a hat trick.
Great. It's a great one.
I don't know who started this. I don't know when somebody scored 3 goals, they were like, hey, let's just toss this out there. Let's just do it. Yeah. And I'll never get this hat back, but screw it. Like,
yeah, that's one thing. I've never seen a hat trick live yet, but like I don't think I would ever toss my hat on if I had a hat.
If I went to a hockey game, I would wear a hat that I don't care about on purpose, just so I could throw it onto the ice whenever probably somebody on the Pens will get a hat trick.
See, usually when I go to the Pens games, I do wear a hat, but it's usually a Stanley Cup hat.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to get rid of it. Like, I always wear the 91 snapback. It's sick. Like, my brother's friend his dad had a bunch of it still in plastic from the 90s. He bought like a shit ton of them whenever they won. So I have like a from the 90s snapback Stanley Cup hat. I wear it every game I go to. I'm not getting that thing up. I'm not going to throw that on the ice. It's too sick, too. But no, hat trick, I love it. You got to love it. So my number 1 is going to be sticking with hockey. The hockey handshake lines after a playoff series.
Yeah.
I think I love it. It's one of the greatest traditions in all sports. Really sad because I heard someone say I guarantee they're going to take that away with COVID. They're going to be more like cautious even going forward. I doubt that, but like I feel like I think it's a very genuinely tradition, very sportsmanlike.
Just keep the gloves on. Do like a little like pad slap.
Yeah, no, it's great. And then even like the series can be like a fight a game. Like it can be the most like shitty series ever, chippy series ever, but those guys will still take off their gloves and shake the other guy's hand after the series. I don't know why. What?
Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Hey, sorry about that last hit there, eh? No, yeah. Shaking hands after NHL playoff series, number 1 best sports tradition in my mind.
Yeah, it's one of the like the few ones that are actually filmed. You know what I mean? Like they actually like take a moment to like actually show you the handshake between the teams. But moving on, my number 1 is the Gatorade shower on coaches after a championship win. Dude, I love this one just because Vegas has prop bets for what color that Gatorade will be. Like that is insane to me. And if I was a coach, and I don't know if I'd be like embracing it or if I'd be scared of it. Like, I mean, you're gonna have Gatorade smell in those clothes for like probably ever. I mean, do you wash those clothes after that game?
If I'm like a coach like Mike Vrabel or someone, and I have like a sweet vest, I'm just hanging that up.
If it's like my first championship, I'm hanging that shit up. People be like, "Oh, dude, what smells?" It's like, "Oh, it's my championship shirt. It smells like Gatorade."
It smells like Glacier Black.
But yeah, that's my number 1, man. The Gatorade shower.
Oh, I definitely agree. I have some honorable mentions. I don't know if you do, but I do for sure. Clemson running down the hill in Death Valley. It's a pretty dope one.
Mm-hmm.
New Zealand All Black team doing the haka. That's a classic. I almost had that on the list. Wisconsin doing jump around, the House of Pain jump around before the games. Everyone going nuts. That's great. And then I left. This is probably a top 5 for me, but I left it off the list. Sweet Caroline at Pitt games. So the reason I left it off is because I feel like Pitt we're not that relevant status yet anymore for NCAA football. I feel like we need to be a little more relevant before that's a top 5er, you know. But if it's like it is like one of my favorite traditions. I just didn't want to include it because we're kind of irrelevant right now.
No, you're good, dude. But I had a couple of honorable mentions myself. I had LeBron's chalk that he does before the start of his games. What else we got here? Renegade Steeler games.
Great
moment. And then cutting the net in the NCAA.
Oh yeah, from the championships, yeah.
Yeah, and then a newer one, jersey swaps. I like those too.
Yeah, a lot of people don't like jersey swaps. I love them.
Oh yeah, they're great. I hate it when it's like shitty players because they're like, oh, we couldn't find the good players, so here's David Johnson and I don't know.
Robbie Anderson,
yeah, like something weird, like.
Yeah, but it was sweet whenever like D Wade was going through his his final tour, his last season,
Mm-hmm.
Seeing who he'd swap jerseys with each game, that's always dope to me to see.
Yeah.
Who was it? Was it OBJ who showed his on Instagram Live one time his collection from swapping jerseys?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
His whole basement walls were just covered in sweet jerseys
that'd be so sweet to see.
That's so sweet. So real quick, one more time, my 5 are Lambeau Leap, 5, 4, play like a champion today, Notre Dame, 3, playoff beards, 2, the terrible towel, and 1, handshakes after hockey games.
Mine are Thanksgiving football, baseball's opening pitch, booing Roger Goodell at the NFL draft, hats going on the ice for a hat trick, and Gatorade showers.
Dude, also before we move on real quick, I don't know if you saw me wearing my terrible towel like this. I feel like I'm the only person who does this, and I don't know why. I always just wear my terrible towel like this on my head.
Are you exhausted?
No, dude. It kind of looks like
food poisoning, playing a game for the Chicago Bulls.
Yeah, no, that's kind of what it looks like. I'm on the sun or something. But it's just so convenient to leave it there, and I can put it a hat. Then we do something sweet. You can go one quick grab, and you're already there. It's perfect.
I mean, if it's a rainy game you're at, and you're at the stadium, I could see that.
I do this on the couch. I'm watching games.
Huh. Maybe that's a little superstition of you.
Yeah, I don't know why. It's just always like this. And I just realized whenever we're doing the podcast and I grabbed it, it immediately went on my head. That's the two spot. I don't know why. Like I said, maybe it's the quick grab and go.
Yeah. All right. But with that, let's take it over to our top 5 movie endings. So like we said, we had the polls out and we did sports tradition movie endings. So, make sure you vote this week and we'll, and we'll do whatever you guys want for a top 5. But I'll start it off. My number 5 movie ending is Planet of the Apes. So the whole movie, you're essentially thinking, this guy just he went up in space and he came to a planet that was essentially ran by apes, and human people were slaves and shit like that. Mm-hmm. But then at the end of the movie, you see the Statue of Liberty, and you have that line "You damn apes, you blew it up, it's gone." And you just realize that he didn't go to a new planet. He traveled through time. It was the future.
Yeah, dude, that's nuts.
And apes are going to take over the world. It's just so crazy.
That's one of the best movie plot twists of all time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's at the end, so it's obviously a perfect ending to a movie.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a great pick. My number 5 is Ferris Bueller's Day Off. So, at the end, basically, he gets home. It's the race home and stuff like that. But I'm saying even after that, he does the life passes you quick. If you don't stop and look around every once in a while, you might just miss it. And that's a great thing. Then it goes into while playing that as the credits roll. Then it shows the principal walking back, and he has to get on the school bus with all the kids because he's getting right back to school. And that's during the credits, that whole scene plays. And then obviously the after credit scene, one of the first after credit scenes ever, where he said, "Wait, you're still here? Go home. The movie's over." He's coming out of the bathroom. So all 3 of them are kind of the ending. So it's the actual ending, what's playing in the credits, and the after credits, and they're all 3 are great scenes. They're all 3 scenes are amazing. So yeah, my number 5, Ferris Bueller Day Off.
I love it. I love how Deadpool parried it too.
Oh yeah. After the first Deadpool, and he drops the cable thing at the end of that too.
Yeah. I still wish they got who'd they say she's in Pirates of the Caribbean. Who's that actress?
Kirsten Knightley.
Yeah, they're maybe we'll get Keira Knightley for cable.
Yeah.
Who knows? I was I kind of hope they get Keira Knightley for cable now.
That'd be funny. That'd be so funny.
But anyways, back to it. My number 4, Back to the Future. This could be 1 or 2, but the first time you see it in number 1, when Doc comes back and he's like, "It's your kids, Marty. It's your kids. We gotta go help them." And it's we gotta go back to the future. And it's oh shit. We're gonna see a sequel, number 1 and because I feel like sequels weren't a big thing back then.
Yeah.
So then it's but furthermore, we're going to the future. That's crazy.
Yeah, and I mean, you always gotta love it whenever a movie says the title.
Mm-hmm.
Movie or TV show says the name of the TV show.
It's like that new Leonardo DiCaprio meme.
Yeah, that's so funny. Actually, I don't know if you want to keep going, but that's a perfect transition to my number 4. Speaking of Leonardo DiCaprio, my number 4 is Wolf of Wall Street. So the ending of that, obviously, it shows him like going to jail like on the bus, and he's talking about how he's scared shitless, he's so nervous. But then I remembered I'm rich, and then it shows him playing tennis in a white collar jail, and then fast forward a little bit where it actually drops a really cool like real life Jordan Belfort cameo, and he introduces fake Jordan Belfort, Leo, at motivational speaking like conference, and then he does like the sell me this pen. And like goes down the line and says, "Sell me this pen to every single person." That's how it ends. Even before that, if you're saying like a long ending, then you got the whole Mrs. Robinson, everyone getting arrested scene leads into the jail scene. So it's just a great way to. I love that movie in general, but that's a great ending.
That's a fantastic movie. Sticking with Leo, we're gonna take it to my number 3, Inception. What a mind fuck, dude! Like he spins that top, and you're like, okay, is this a dream or is this real? And the top's spinning, and then it like moves a little bit, but it doesn't stop spinning officially, and then the camera just pans away from the top and shows Leo with his family, and it's like, damn, like you don't know, it's up for interpretation.
Yeah, they moved that. That's why it's so good. I think because it moved it right before it would. If it would naturally start falling, like right when they stop showing it. Like if it was gonna fall, it was gonna fall right when they stopped showing it. So it's like this end of Sopranos. It's up to interpretation. You never know what's happening.
Yeah. But that I mean, I don't think anything's been confirmed either by any director or anything.
I think everyone's.
I think Christopher Nolan's just leaving it up for interpretation.
Yeah, that's what I think too. I don't think anyone ever said anything. All right, so my number 3, we're on 3, right? My number 3 is the ending of Goodfellas. So Henry Hill's in the courtroom. He brats out basically De Niro and the other guy, and then he's basically going on a big long tangent about like how he misses like the mob life and when he do it all again, absolutely all that stuff. And it just going through like a suburban neighborhood, and he steps outside of a house and grabs a paper. I forget what he says, but he looks at the camera and says one more like one-liner. Like I think it's like, would I do it again? Like absolutely. And he walks back in the house, and then it talks about how he went to witness protection. Like on the title screens pop up and saying how he went to witness protection, and now he's still alive in Seattle or got arrested in Seattle or something stupid. But I think I just love the ending of Henry Hill coming outside of his door during witness protection and getting his newspaper. Fitting end for a great movie.
Yeah, so moving on. My number 2, Toy Story 3. Damn, the feels, man, with this movie. At the time, you thought it was going to be the ending of Toy Story, and like having this scene where Andy is going to college, obviously, so he doesn't need his toys anymore. He has this new neighbor girl who is, the age like to start playing with toys and all that shit. So he gives all of his toys to this new girl, and kind of like goes through memory lane with all the toys. Like he's like, oh, this is Buzz Lightyear. He's a Star Commander. This is Jessie. She's like this cowgirl, Bullseye, and all the toys that we know and love. And then he gets to Woody, and he's like, damn, like I don't know why I was gonna give this to you, but here. And then you just see you see Andy driving away and all the toys, and Woody just says, "So long, partner." And it's just, damn, just such a sad ending, such a perfect ending for that franchise. But then obviously the Toy Story 4, it was still a great movie, but like if it ended at 3, it would have been kind of perfect.
Yeah, and like the ending of the 4th one is still great, but it's definitely not as good as So Long, Partner, one-liner. Yeah,
I mean, it was the end of Andy's story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then the 4th one was sort of like the ending for Woody.
Yeah. That's a great ending. It definitely teared up a little bit, especially whenever I thought they were all going to die before the incinerator.
I saw this one, I think it was like a Vine or something, but this one guy edited Toy Story 3 and showed his family, and it was essentially it faded to black right at the end of like that scene in the trash compactor where he thought all the toys were going to die. It just faded to black, and it played like, "You got a friend in me."
Yeah. So the
family's like, "Wait, what?"
That's funny. That's great. All right, my number 2 is Indiana Jones: The Last Crusade. So fantastic. The ending of that is literally them riding off into the sunset. I mean, what more perfect ending of that? So basically, they do all the stuff with the Holy Grail. They save Henry Sr.'s life. The place collapses. You give the night guy a nice little like head nod. Goes outside, him, Brody, and the other guy. Who's the other guy from Egypt? The guy with the hat. I forget. The guy from Raiders of the Lost Ark too. Sal or something. His name is whatever his name is. Mm-hmm. They all have horses, and they all ride off. They're all getting on the horses, and you find out that Indiana Jones, Indiana comes from the dog. Like, that's what they named the dog or whatever. and then they ride off into the sunset. Literally ride off into the sunset perfectly. It's a great ending to what should have been the last Indiana Jones movie.
Yeah, it's sad.
That's perfect ending for the character and everything. The whole
they got to milk the cow dry. That's how Hollywood loves to do it. So
yeah. Then George Lucas and Spielberg went on and raped Indiana Jones on camera.
That's South Park episode.
Yeah, there's raping Indiana.
Take it over to my number 1, Avengers Endgame. I mean, this is just a perfect ending for not only Endgame, but the MCU Infinity Saga. Like, we had this build up for 10 years of Thanos, and we got the Thanos movie and Infinity War, and now Endgame was the end of the Avengers we know and love. It was a farewell to Iron Man. It was a farewell to Black Widow. It was a send-off probably forever for Captain America, and just beautifully done for each character send-off. Just fantastic. I haven't felt more complete watching a movie than I did with Avengers Endgame.
I agree. I mean, I talked a lot about Endgame last week when we talked about the Marvel movies.
Mm-hmm.
I would have had that on my list. I just was trying to stay away from Marvel and Star Wars movies because I feel like if I didn't, then my whole top 5 would be something like that. But Endgame,
and I heard that complaint as well. But I was like, you know what? I told him, I was like, look, dude, our friend Gus. I was like, look, dude, Avengers Endgame is the best movie ending.
Yeah, that would be the only exception.
It's gonna be on the list.
Yeah, that's the only exception. That ending was great. I mean, there's so many movies with great endings in the Marvel universe. That's the best ending.
Yeah, for sure.
The funeral scene.
Yeah.
It was
just a tearjerker. Ever since I Am Iron Man, it was just a tearjerker the rest of the movie.
Even if like we're just talking about like the very last shot, it's still a great shot with Peggy and Cap dancing, finally getting that dance. That's a great ending.
And the hologram, Tony's hologram at the end of the movie as well.
3000.
Last I Love You 3000. Like, oh fuck, man. Like, just pull it in my heartstrings.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, did you? Your last two picks were just tearjerkers.
Hey, those are the best endings, man.
Yeah. Well, my number 1, I think, is the greatest ending in movie history. The Breakfast Club. I mean, they're all walking out of detention. The guys reading the letter, and it's like talking about like, oh yeah, we're all different, we're all whatever, but we're the Breakfast Club. But like the best part is like the last shot. Realistically, is whenever first of all Bender gets like the earring from I forget all the names except for Bender right now, but he gets the earring from the one chick from 16 Candles, and they're reading the letter's still going off in the background. He walks towards the football field. You hear sincerely the Breakfast Club. Bender puts his hand up in the air. And the don't you forget about me. Just that shot alone is like the reason that's great. But I just that whole movie is one of the greatest movies of all time. And
it's definitely up there. And like
definitely a lot to thank for it being one of the most iconic movies ever. But yeah, Breakfast Club. I think that's the best movie ending of all time.
All right. Well, with that, I had some honorable mentions. I'm sure you did as well. I had The Sixth Sense. The Sixth Sense. Can't even say it, but the I See Dead People, just classic twist. M. Night Shyamalan. Also, 7. What's in the box?
It's in the box.
It's in the box. Like, oh, dude, just fantastic endings. But that was all I really had for honorable mentions. I pretty much knew my list going into this one. What do you have?
I actually didn't write any of my honorable mentions down, but like Gran Torino was up there. Animal House was up there. I'm just thinking of movies like that I was going to put on the list, but I decided not to last second. There's just so many.
This is great.
Hunger Games 2, whenever she's getting taken out of the dome on the plane. It's like, there's a rebellion going on. That is sick. Endgame, like I said, was me on the list. But yeah, that's pretty much all I had on the honorable mentions list.
Well, with that, my number 5 is Planet of the Apes. Number 4, Back to the Future. Number 3, Inception. Number 2, Toy Story 3. And number 1, Avengers Endgame.
Oh, I actually did have an honorable mention. One more, sorry. That is my actual official honorable mention. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Or Django, or pretty much any Tarantino movie. But Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was going to make my list most likely. I thought it was fighting for Ferris Bueller for number 5. Mm-hmm. That's a great ending. With this changing the Charles Manson murders, like completely changing it, rewriting it. It's awesome. But anyway, yeah, my number 5 is Ferris Bueller's Day Off. 4, Wolf of Wall Street. 3, Goodfellas. 2, Last Crusade. 1, The Breakfast Club.
All right. Well, like I said, we'll have a new poll out probably on Monday. So go ahead and vote on that on @DirtyJSports on Instagram and on Twitter. And just if you have any other ideas, other top fives that you'd like us to do, go ahead and just comment on those posts, and we'll go ahead and throw them on the list, and we'll probably end up talking about them. So
don't forget to check out our YouTube channel too, Dirty J Sports. We post this segment every week on the YouTube channel. If you want to watch our beautiful faces explain it in real time, then go check us out there, subscribe and like those videos. And if you're watching on YouTube, then go to our SoundCloud at Talkin Dirty. There's not just Talkin Dirty on SoundCloud, and you get the rest of our podcast. We talk about sports, pop culture, all that fun stuff.
Yeah. So with that, let's take it over to pop culture, and we'll start there.
This bitch says she got the corona, but I'm gonna do what I wanna. Her mama got low on that water, so I went and got me a gunner. This quarantine got me fucked up, so I'm gonna need to be drunker. I bought so much damn toilet paper that they should be calling the plumber.
Fuck going on, it's the KOP. I will be fucking around, but I'm in quarantine. This bitches be dirty, but my house is clean. So much Purell, making me free cream. National Guard, going to California, yay. Thank God I got the weed, cause I'm high every day. The world's going to hell, everything's closing. Got 4 handles, bitch I'm coasting.
This bitch says she got the corona, but I'm gonna do what I wanna. Her mama got low on that water, so I went and got me a gunner. This quarantine got me fucked up, so I'm gonna need to be drunker. I bought so much damn toilet paper that they should be calling the plumber.
Yo, fuck this corona shit, I wanna fuck around and find your clit. Got me a corona, and I got the lime. Call me Nickelodeon, yeah, I got the slime. Don't fall back, don't call back. Watch my corona down with a maul back. Don't talk silly to me, I got a dirty car, COVID-19.
Yo, go and crack a Rona, bitch, give me a lime. Quarantine and chill, then I'll take you from behind. It's Rona season with my heathens. Blue suede kicks, yeah, I'm hooked on a feeling. Keep it authentic in this global pandemic. Spitting from the chest like it's cardiogenic. So line up some wine cups and pour out for China.
This bitch says she got the corona, but I'm gonna do what I wanna. Her mama got low on that water, so I went and got me a gunner. This quarantine got me fucked up, so I'm gonna need to be drunker. I bought so much damn toilet paper that they should be calling the plumber.